MJ Movie Reviews back again with an on-the-fly movie review of John Wick Chapter 2. Oh, man. Well, this film, John Wick, that I bought when it first came on DVD. I'm going to turn this in and get the Blu-ray because that's got the commentary and all that. Either way, one of my later reviews after I started my channel, actually you guys, it's up on my channel. So you guys search through my old videos and you'll find my very first movie review of John Wick, the first film, which was unexpected because that movie did not have a lot of promotion as this sequel does. And it flew under people's radar. A lot of people didn't even know that movie had come out. I was subscribed to a bunch of movie reviewers on YouTube. They reviewed the film. And, Keanu Reeves has hit it out the park with Point Break, Speed, the Matrix trilogy, Street King, some other action pictures he's done. So I'm like, cool, sign me up. Let me check this movie out. I wasn't expecting much from it. And I was thoroughly surprised. If you guys see my old review, I saw that I made that review directly after I got out the theater. I had a great time with it. Minor flaws, but I had a good time. So my expectations for this film were really through the roof. Just being the fact that I know these are stunt guys who respect the I don't know how to pronounce. I guess the older ways that they would film action films, kind of like maybe how they filmed action in the 70s films and 80s films and early 90s with films like Terminator 2, before the whole quick cut, shaky cam thing became so prominent. So I was really excited, and I heard a lot of the same team was coming back for this sequel, and I was really pumped on it. And the more I was seeing previews and some of the action, I was just getting more and more excited. So I've been reading a couple of reviews that have come out, and there was all the reviews were like knock out the park, and there were two that weren't negative. They said the film was good, but I could kind of sense the disappointment in them. I kind of hate to say it, but I'm gonna lean more towards I liked the film. Keep in mind, I'm not being negative. I liked the film, but was slightly disappointed by it. That's not taking anything away from it. I still had a great time. I still had a lot of glee, with all the, my inner sadist, with all the violence and the headshots and the knifings and the fisticuffs. I still had a great time. But let's talk about what we all want to know. The action. So after I heard those two reviews where they kind of were slightly disappointed but still gave the film high marks, I lowered my expectations and said, you know what? I'm not going to have high hopes. I'm just going to go into this thing and just watch it. Just to be entertained. And the movie delivers on the level of action and as much action as you get and just the brutality of the action, the finesse, the choreography. It delivers full on. The opening car chase to the movie, I love. Matter of fact, there's a car chase and then Keanu Reeves has a fist fight. I will say I really like that opening fist fight. And there's a couple other fist fights in the movies that I really like. Let me go on more about the action. Keanu Reeves, he throws himself, everybody in this film throws himself into it, but as Keanu Reeves, as the man who has to carry the film, his effort here is 110%. He's fantastic here. He's fantastic for a man who's 51, 52 years old, and I will say there was evident in a couple of the scenes where he's running. If they're going to make a 3, Keanu better go ahead and do it fast, because a couple of those shots when he was running, I was like, God bless this man, because I know he's got to be putting those ice packs on, man. It didn't look like he was acting hurt to me, but he's great. His gun work is fantastic. His fight choreography is fantastic. The way he handles the action, it's just great. It feels painful. It feels rough. It feels raw. It doesn't. Oh goodness, it's cold outside, guys. It doesn't feel like there's any of that kind of BS that you saw with, for example, Expendables 3. You know, it just doesn't feel phony and garbage and kind of. It just, you know. Now, here's where the film, to me, this is kind of, and I wasn't disappointed in terms of the action. I think what I was more disappointed with was I didn't feel as involved with John Wick on his mission. You know, because on the first one, they kill his dog, man. And I own the dog. And the filmmakers know with these revenge movies, that's a strong enough, emotional manipulation to get the audience to be like, yes, kill everybody. Here, his motivation is not really, he's not really fighting for anything in this movie. He's more kind of like, I want to be left alone, but he's not fighting for anything like he was in the original film. And when I heard people point that out in their reviews, I was kind of like, oh, whatever, it's just going to be. But I will say, this movie's longer than the first one. It's like 2 hours. For me personally, I think they should have shaved off 20 minutes of this movie. I think, because this movie sticks really in the tradition of 80s and 90s action pictures, 80s to early 90s action pictures. I think really they should have shaved off about 20 minutes. As far as the talking scenes, I think the talking scenes were fine. It was, it was fine that they wanted to kind of have a pace and have a, slow down, action. That's fine with me. Go like that. That was cool. But I really think that this is a film that they were trying to build upon the John Wick Hitman Continental Hotel universe, as everyone has pointed out. And I just think that it was okay for them to build on it. And the fact that it gets totally absurd at the end, I was fine with that. Another movie reviewer said they didn't buy it anymore. But I'm like, come on. This guy's a master assassin. And he hits every guy with a headshot. Come on. This is Fantasyland, plain and simple. So I didn't have a problem with that. I just, for me, I felt I didn't like the fact that I wasn't really behind John Wick, outside of him being just John Wick. Like, at the beginning of part of the movie, when he went to get his car, I was with him because this is more carried over from the first film. So it's like they still got his car. They took his stuff, and they killed his dog. So he's finishing off business. So I was still with him like, man, you go get your stuff back, man. But then you get into this part of the story that I'm not going to get into. It's just kind of more like John Wick is like he wants to be left alone, but he's owed this world. So I just wasn't with him this time, outside of him just being John Wick. So I had a problem with that. It's okay with this story was simple, but I mean, like, I just wish there would have been more of an emotional reason. Like, I mean, heck, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando has a motivation. They kidnapped his daughter. He's got to go get her back. They're going to kill her. Hey, Charles Bronson Death Wish. They kill and rape his daughter and his wife. Emotional motivation. He's got to go get them, right? The Exterminator. They maim his best Vietnam buddy who saved his life. There's the motivation. There wasn't really that here, even on a simplistic level of the films I just told you. So I kind of, and just the fact with it just being too long, I kind of felt it was a little bloated. And just like, I just really felt the talking scenes, just because there's not enough motivation there, I didn't feel that they had to go on as long. And then kind of the stuff with Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne he just collected a check. He's just a high and by kind of role. And his scenes, and he's trying to be elegant. And it's just like, I kind of just didn't care. I was just like, this just isn't needed. And, I just felt the film was too long. I think the longest this movie should have been was 1 hour and 45 minutes. The action as it stands, fine. I just think that the movie should have been a little bit shorter. And one thing, too, is it gets slightly a tad, I don't know if I would use the word somber, but I really hope if they do a 3, and I might add, I'm perfectly fine if they don't do a 3. I'm okay. I really can't see anywhere else they can go with it. in my personal opinion. So if it stops here, I'm good with the first two movies. You can tell from my review, I like the first film better. But that's okay. That's not taking anything away from this film. This film is still a lot of fun. I mean, there's some stuff they do with the action where Keanu Reeves and and of course the body count is like stupid. I mean, I think this movie they kill more people than they did in Total Recall 1990. There's a lot of people that get killed in that movie. But I just the lack of emotional motivation for John Wick this time. And I just felt the film was too long. And there's a lot of setup going on here for the third film. So I really just think if they would have shortened it, not saying it had to be less talking, but just kind of, I don't know, more emotional, compelling reason for him to come back and just shorten the film. It was just 2 hours for this type of movie with this thin of a through line is just too long. It's too long. You know, so unfortunately we don't have a case here of Alien versus Aliens or the Terminator versus Terminator 2, Batman Begins versus The Dark Knight. We do not have a case. This is kind of more of a situation. I do a comparison to a horror film. So this would be kind of more like Halloween 1978, Halloween 2 1981. So, whereas in you get the same kind of kick, and you enjoy it, and there's new little things they throw in that are kind of cool, but it's just not as good as the first film. So that's the best comparison I could use. So, but I will still say for action sadists like myself and people who grew up on the old school 70s, 80s, early 90s action pictures, this is made for us, guys. Go check it out. Just don't have your expectations as high, but it's still a fun, gory, sadist-filled ride. So, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and do not forget to hit that little bell to remind y'all when my videos pop up so you can hear all my latest reviews. I'm going to continue on with my Black History Month movie review of 1992's Class Act, starring Kid and Play. RMJ Movie Reviews, and I'll see you guys soon.